Good. Or whatever it is, wherever you are. All right, so I already like kind of updated files to get a merge conflict. So you don't have to do all the juggling to get a updated client. But I think the main thing that's a little off right now is that the experts, um, it's are essentially hitting the baby case for markers. So I might have to try and get a couple of eaves in here. Uh, Man, I'm testing out babies too. And I think I could just spawn expert stones if I need to go find them all the time. But I think I'm gonna need a live update because I was using skin color for the babies. But that could be assumed to be your color. Spam use. I want to do something with the wells. Sometimes I don't know if I'll have time today. So I'm gonna have to switch over to event stuff here. I'm already kind of monitoring things here. Expert waystone. Yeah, so this came in. I mean, this by itself is pretty small. It's just kind of putting this expert tag in. I don't really check that had an AFAC. Oh, and this I might want to see if I was doing any parsing of maps or anything. I could maybe do something with this. To like kind of fade out the older maps or something. I wonder if this person. Anyway, experts, expert waystones. We've got expert. I don't remember. I think I might have sort of made a ring for that. I don't remember. Life page. So we had baby. Yeah, I did my own text for matching. Did I insert these into the? I did insert these. So I was using. I don't want to just say expert here. Oh, this was to make sure that the strings were simple constant equals. I mean, maybe it will do equals for constants like that anyway. So we want to make sure that that goes there. That's the only instance of that right now. And then we do some stuff with text baby. Oh. I was only so actually those shouldn't well, I didn't have a player there before. Right, because we need to know if it's a follower leader or if it's this. I might actually want to make this if equals badge color. And text lead. Text sep. Unfortunately, this kind of flips it around. Oh, I want to be editing a certain patch for this. I saved. Not. That's going to confuse the editor, though. Series, go to patient slips. Pop. I think I might need to swap this around as, well, else if in-person ID. If in-person key equals text lead, or in-person key equals text stop. Else if in-person ID the first thing we want to do is that if we do know who it is, oh, and yeah, okay, so that's just it. No, that should be this. Right. This brace style still confusing. In person. Oh, wait. If it's pointing at some kind of person, this is actually assumed. Well, we still need an in-person ID of some. But it's still going to be an ID, even if they don't exist yet. So took care of the baby case. This takes care of. If it's a leader or a follower. Actually, this might just be an else, and then we have if person ID. Ideally, if person ID, well, so really, this is actually not get our live object. Get our live object from our ID. Oh, I'm not using it as a key anymore. Else, you're a live object pointer, right? I'm going to say if we were able to find that person, else, if we let ourselves, you know what? I could actually switch this out. We could just say, really? Say that. Another thing I might need to do for the babies. Well, the babies will be us and it'll be fine. These people should, if it gives us a pointer to a person, that person should exist. We can run it once. We can check for. So this will. Oh, yeah. It won't be able to give us a proper color if there's no. It must be in-person ID. But maybe we don't need a live update. Oh, right. We grabbed our live object up here. That should be it. Nope. Oh, you can't do this or equal stuff. That is some other languages that use that as truthy. Uh, what? 49. Oh, I updated text expert. Must he? Okay, you are somehow still alive. Barely. Oh yeah, these aren't going to go as far. Because I'm still on Eve. Alright. So I need to get a second player in for you. No, you don't get notices for your own baby. So we may just have to trust that one works. And actually, I think I'm going to have to reset the server. There's a setting for. What was it? Server settings, force Eve age, force Eve object. I thought there was one. That just made everybody Eve. Force all players Eve. All right, so that should let us hopefully get all of the races a bit easier. So we have people to point at. I forgot to bookmark our client here. For testing, it'd be nice if there was like a well, there is the force player model thing. All right, so oh, I'm actually I'm a VOG player right now. Build Windows settings. We're gonna need this up anyway. Yeah, you're on A2. So you're the ginger person, I guess. And I forgot to get the client up again. In it. Okay, so you're gonna be jungle. Oh, pointers don't tend to point when you're close. The desert, jungle, Arctic. It's not going to point at me. There's nobody for that. Oh! Expert for frigid Arctic. Okay, that looks right. And then my other person should be able to get jungle. Yeah, that's me. And just to check stuff out, or just to be complete. So technically you are just findable by the rest. Yep, so the color's not great, but it works. Now I haven't actually checked babies. It's going to take a lot of babies to get to the point where you have like a relative that's coming in. Like somebody has to grow up and then be a relative. All right, so that is, well, this is, we've accomplished something. WD, edit, patches, master. There's going to be a slight change to README. Actually, baby slips, I'm not completely sure about. Because I'm not completely sure about the time. Well, actually, if I put it to where I could have babies, I could. Although at this point, I'm not sure it's going to get the baby. No, because I can't easily see the announcement. I might be able to look it up in the logs from last night. I don't remember if the standout logs from the live thing have like any of the like login information. Expert slips are the target players. Matches master. Oh, and there's the map. Buffer notes. So expert locations, I want to maybe do something with map age. We pretty much got that done. Map age might be a more approachable thing for today. I can look at what these things did. Home and homesick. Not client. Homeland. So it's XY family name, which doesn't really necessarily give us the information we need. What happens if it's a nameless family? It's not an abandoned well. It's just the blank family well. uh, so I can't give you a color to that, except kind of by inference from named players, or if we've seen a birth around there, maybe. So that is, wait, there's this in two places. Oh, this is in draw. This is receiving the message. If the name changed, push back. I don't know if I actually remove them. Cleans them up. Yeah, so I'm wondering if it would be easier to make a homeland thing that would, it'd be sort of like a bell, with a, I don't know, a gray color? Or a well? Or a blue color? Well, blue is matte. Bit of a stone gray color. Be nice to do the family tone, but I'd have to do inference for that. I'm not sure about recording the of it. It's partially a space issue because if you show it all the time, it's just going to be there a lot. But you could kind of treat that as a ancient home marker. Uh, Actually, that's probably pretty easy. Or rather, treating them as bells would be easier than um, doing too much, doing anything more complicated. All right, so I've got this up. We probably want to do our VOG player as default. I want. Hmm. Want images. I need to know. Well, that is indeed the fam use object. It's a 1098. Oh, that's not the sprites. We have to do that. We technically have to find the object. And then find the sprites for it. It's sprite ID. Oh man, there's actually a couple of things in here. So some of these are probably this stuff, which means we actually want to find, it's probably an instance of the empty well. Dry shallow well. 664. Okay, maybe that was too many files for it. It's sprite ID. Yeah, so 1010. Be a sprite. Oh, and apparently there's some. Oh, it has a name and like an offset or something? Anyway. Not with Vim. I mean, it'll open a binary file, but. No, this is already GIMP. That over there. Actually, the color dropper's probably on here, isn't it? No, that's swap. I need to edit one. It's hard to say what the overall feeling of this thing is. I guess well, I mean, if I tried to blur it, it would just kind of turn into a lot of black. Really? You have to like remove the black and then blur the rest or actually these are named after the gold, blood. I guess this would be stone. So this is RGB 8 125 149. And we're going to be using this as similar places. Net location. So this is the default. Sometimes these get monument IDs. But Homeland isn't necessarily going to give us an item ID. If you hover over it, it gives you a well. The Homeland messages aren't. So that's the default. Now I could pick a well as our nominal object. Past that when we get that's still building in the well object. But our config file is set up to take an int. Or I could now Jason specifically set this up. Oh, so we didn't have to do all the different stages of them necessarily. We did something so we didn't have to do all the stages. But that would actually be a lot of different objects. That gets a monument ID. Well, I mean, this is just how it sets it up differently. I can totally add a different method. Now there's currently no hookup for the name on here. And the reason we can't just, well, I could just render homelands. But homelands right now have no animation information. So in theory, we can put the name in here. I don't really have a place to. They don't currently have a text for this. Well, I've got a person key, maybe. I don't have proper memory management for that. That's going to be a dynamic string. I'm going to call it ancient. Labeled is for the home slip. Oh, wrong patch. You can update other patches. I'm kind of in the middle of it right now. Just convenient to be working on the right. All right, add ancient. Yes, there's the home location. And if we receive a homeland message, numRead equals 3, get homeland. If it wasn't equal to null, then we update it. If it was, and it's a new fam name, and we add it. There's nothing I need to update if once it's a location, it's a location. Now, oh, actually, if all times that the family name is reallocated are here, I might be able to manage passing a label to it. But I don't think I use that label anywhere. No, I was still showing expert when it was something else. Maybe. Oop. Oh, it's not pos x. Just x and y. Was not declared. Oh, right. I should put these in there so they had access to private information. Yeah, so it was a const char though. I guess we could treat it as const char from that perspective, but it is technically volatile memory, so it's not really pointing at constant. Just you can modify it through that pointer. That might be something where you want something other than like the sort of bell style marker, but okay, looks like everybody's dead. Well, I need to have. Oh, okay, so one person's alive. Probably not for much longer. So that was that monument. And I could just, well, because it's a grid, I don't know if I can just get away with cheating stuff in here. This is just a thing I never noticed in the pattern. Where's the well line? I didn't think I went that far off. That far north. Yeah, it was just above some jungle when you hit this. Went up. There it is. I'm gonna have to look the other direction for a good while. I think it might be that transition that actually triggers it. So what I can do is... like, well, site. Man, what do I have to do to... There's something weird with that. Oh, I don't remember that. Okay, so there. Okay, and we go back over here. We give you a shovel. Uh... Shovel of dung. Okay, unnamed family. Well... Oh, it stays unnamed family. It recorded that time. So now, since I made that, I didn't necessarily get the homeland message. Try somebody else. Or maybe I only get it when leaving the well? I have to go a ways to do that? Well, I can... Okay, so we got the message. And we did not... oh, nope. I was just in the standard, we're too close. Period. Yeah, so there are things we might be able to do. Either looking for births with, birth notices that are within range, or some kind of fuzzy name matching. I wonder if that homeland is forever unnamed. That player was actually in there. It might be... actually, I don't know which player that was. Alright, I could actually get born to this, so... give ourselves some walking. Nope, you're brand new. So you have not yet received notice of that homeland. Of course, you didn't enter it normally, you spawned into it. Might itself be a little bit of a bug report. Yeah, you don't have notice that that's even a thing. I should probably stay on the well line, because that way I can measure distance better. So it's 40 each. We have to go 100 out. Oh, no, actually, also, I don't know, because I didn't get a definition. That's a snake. It should have been an expert stone if it wasn't well, right? There's a dry well. That's 40. Aha. I am not home, though. I am just not in somebody else's homeland. Oh, maybe it's doing the emote and not... yeah, I don't have an actual homeland. I would actually have to exit this. Get back here. To make the log clean, have to not have anybody else in because they all write to the same log file. Copy the call. And then if we go A3, oh, I have an emergency patch here. All right, so you received handout, load file, HL, none. Da, 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 da. We had a copy error here. Wah. Not Wah. Watal. Probably just picking a default pronoun. Uh, be her and wait, instead of him. Oh wait, where did? Oh, because I went to the next one that was. Why is this case sensitive? Or just the next one? Okay. Yeah, it looks like we will want a database behind next time. There's been lots of little updates. Okay. I'll be good. All right, so we I guess I should really check the server code on this. When are people sent that message? Send homeland message. Is some homeland. Boundary crossed. Okay, so they are sent that when they cross the boundary. When versus distance is less than. This is just general update. Oh, so this must be a new player? This looks like new player joining. All right, so let's see if we can get. You're back near the start. You should be well within it. Let's see if we can get you to have a baby. I need to turn off Eve's. Well, I have to turn off Eve's spawn if I need to kill everybody. Have babies. Oh, it's now probably going to be an abandoned well, so we have to claim it first. It's just a shallow well. It's not even an abandoned well. All right. Bog me a bowl. I don't suppose I can say empty bowl. And once again, unnamed. I always forget about that. And maybe the name is actually part of the problem. I know some of the client stuff is all right, now you see that as a shallow well, which means it's not known as a homeland. I see that as a pointer. You do not see that as a pointer. Hmm. Maybe if you get old enough to use it, it'll get notified, or that, alternately get another even. But you can actually use stuff. Yep, you're not a baby. We're not in cooldown, apparently. Oh, because we're not excessively propping up other races. But still, at some point, we're going to need more families. There we go. Definitely, we're in a homeland. We don't have notices about it. Shoot, I need someplace. Can't put back water anymore, so I need someplace. Oh, I can, one of these can make more bowls. Uh-oh. Okay, we got into screen lock mode somehow. And we're not leaving it. Okay, so let's reconnect with that one. That's the first. Yeah, you're an extra baby. Hmm. So I'm not sure I ever tested the boundary cross version of this. I think I thought of something else. No, because my other player got to the home state. We left somebody else's homeland. Yeah, so we got. Was that 100 away from Bond? Yeah, so it looks like it's going to be somewhat limited in terms of what we can do based on just what the server is giving us. Yeah, so I'm homesick because I entered their homeland. Oh, and there's the well. Stuck between the desert there. Now, if you look at the server, it looks like it should be sent to us. Oh, no. Right, because I did a boundary cross. And now it does know the name. All right, so it's just initial entry. Uh, mm, uh, mm, uh, mm, mm. The being born would be the more ordinary thing, so I would have to get a life. And the server does seem to know the name of it now. I'll do one of these people. I think I did that already, but... Yeah, so you are a child of that. You don't have anything. See the well. Yeah. Some stages. Oh. Been done well. Ah, that's one of the old ones. Uh, not being well information for baby, but leaving and entering homeland zone. Eve's babies reconnects. And it looks like it might be attempting to do that, but I did not see. We're still in the server. Send homeland message goes from boundary cross, and yeah, this looks like it's a new player setup. Goes through all players. Homeland info. So next player is often used. I guess I was thinking this was. That's through all players. What is the content? It's just main. Oh, this is homeland list is homeland changes. So yeah, there doesn't seem to be any indication that this is sent to new players enter. That's that. So this is kind of as good as we can quickly make it. Now, this does give away some information, more so than the base version does. Uh, we could put a we could sit and watch. We could say if you've hovered over a well, then you get a pointer to it. That wouldn't be as neat and compact. We'd essentially have to go into like the draw code. Say, well, if we draw the hover over information, then we can update our pointer. And we have some information about where. That's over family homeland centers. Well, that is somewhere in draw. I'm gonna use some get homeland. UDES. Per mouse home. So if there's a homeland at this location, per mouse over world X. Get homeland is direct. It's equal. Yes, yes. Yeah, so getting an immediate pointer to the center when you enter a place is a little bit more leaky. The annoying thing about this is that it's like every draw frame, it's going to go through, clear the location slip, and add. And I don't currently have any means to say, well, this one really shouldn't be visible right now. You have ancient temporary labeled. I can add a flag for. Then when I'm updating the slips, I could check to see if it's currently hovered. Yeah, you'd have to have the slip list to check that. Problem with this is that this removes a prior slip and adds a new one. And that's just kind of the way all slips work, because they're generally working in an event-based fashion. Yeah, I think this is what we're going to get for now. Oops. Change log. I actually want to edit buffer readme. Gray. I guess we could just say stone gray. Another thing we could do is we could do homeland slips only as temporary slips when you cross the line. But I mean, these are more major navigational. Oh, this is just a line. Now, did I state not? Export. The other one, age of the destination. Did I have any parsing for this? This is going to be somewhere in step. We were doing from a star pause. For map metadata. So I guess the real thing I'm concerned about here is I edited. Okay, I seem to have done nothing that has this in its context. Yeah, so we're doing stuff downstream of where it does this. Map age. I have to do some color blending to do a old effect. I mean, some maps are still going to be valid. Map years. What's minutes? Map age times our age. Interesting. Oh, maybe that does. That's seconds. I think I've got a really old map, but maybe the server wasn't recording the information. Yeah, in fact, if I can read that, then I will should be able to see the standout message. So it was bell tower. Okay, so yes, this was unknown because it wasn't recorded. I don't... The pencil I was using for this earlier? Unless I left it at the bell tower. There's the pencil, so we need blank map. And that looks like seconds to me. 5, yeah, okay, so that seems to be in seconds. So we would probably want to be like, well, yeah, actually hours old is about the right measurement here. That's years. Years ago, millennia ago, centuries ago, decades ago. Well, I'm doing a map marker on, right? I would have to add temp home location. I would have to add an age parameter to this. And then we would have to do something with it. That's person, person. And that would be the O. I would want to subtract the seconds from current time to get a event time. I guess for a person, you would do like birth time. And that starts to give away just straight up age. Oh, actually, right, expert baby map. The births all come in through that. And then with that, we would do draw a location slip. Could maybe do some kind of like fade on the arrow if it's really old. Oh, yeah, and in fact, we've got arrow states.fade. That sort of progressively reduces. Every time it's drawn? Did I pull some stuff from an update that should have... Should have been instances? Yeah, oh, I might have. Maybe it's just supposed to fade out. So if we num home arrows, where, oh, arrow index not equal to -1, the fade solid true. What if we added some zeros to this? I think this is supposed to kind of go back to the generations, but I'm not sure that it is ever like resetting the, and maybe this is because of some code I copied wrong. Resetting the fade of each step. Rather, it's doing it every time it draws, so it's not, it should be every time it like changes pointer, not every time it. Well, those are dead. Where'd my maps? If we change arrows, yeah, I'm still not seeing any old arrows. Maybe it's only certain things that have that. Also, this is num home arrows. Did I, am I not in location clips? Found solid. Oh no, maybe this is actually the inverse. Fade is faded out. So this is the current arrow index for that vector. No, it's saying solid is equal to fade equal 1.0. Oh no, so if this, if the arrow index of the current arrow is not solid, right, so this is for each arrow. But it sure looks to me like we never see any fade. It's like, I'm doing something wrong here. Or the blue color is just really. First, where the heck did I run to? I guess the homework would work too. And we change the pointer, and there's still only one. That sets the solid to false. Home arrows is the number of pointers, so it's like the 8 or whatever. Home arrows. Oh. Oh no, if it's not solid, fade it. Oh no, it's VVV. Wait. If it's not solid. Ah, okay. And then if it is solid, well, why isn't this just else here? This is all of them possibly faded. If this is even drawn. I've got a home marker, which has never had any other arrow states. And still doesn't have any other arrow states. So it seems like something's funny here. Or they're all solid. Maybe that's the mistake. Oh, and it's a different sprite for erase. Do we not have erased sprite? Jason just kind of removed it. Now here I'm close to a home marker. Home arrow erased. Left side, one life. Build. Those. Graphic. Oh, so these are already pretty faded. I could, hmm. We're fading them out too aggressive. Well, it's like every time it changes, fade down everything a little bit until it's 0. Definitely not like all solid. That's why it's drawing a different. Yes, the way I've hacked this up, you should be seeing all of them at all times. Whee! Even drawing this. For arrow index. Oh, there's the additive texture coloring. Maybe that changes the interpretation of colors. Maybe fade 1.0 is alpha. Right next to a home marker again. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be doing this loop. But this draw color's messed up. Oh, actually 0, 0, 0 is black. Oh, solid fade equals 1. So I'm actually messing this up a little bit. It's still blending, but it's not that sprite. I just never see the fade. I guess really what I want to be doing is fading the current arrow anyway. Yeah, okay, so that's a right mess. And full on, well, no, because that was all of the full sprites. This is the erased sprites in their base form. Maybe it's just it's hard to see on the blue. I was initially looking. Oh yeah, those are already real faded. So if we put this back and go with the home marker again, where it's easier to see, figure out what we do with the other stuff. That's using additive texture coloring. Currently multiplicative blend? That might have to be a bit differently. Yeah, oh, okay, yeah, you can barely see fades there. And I'm going to guess that's just invisible on the map with the blue color. So if we were to do an age, would add age to the record, would do probably something with this. I really would want to record like the original timestamps. Potentially things could age a little bit, like a really old pointer. I mean, I guess it'd only be 60 years. Oh, okay. Yeah, that would have to be the other drawing mode. Maybe we could go back to. No, you were 111. We could go back to this. I think I'm just going to run out of time. Okay, here, one of them, and that doesn't even appear to be a parameter in this mode. Yep. So we would probably have to switch it up to do it more like this with, more intense values. That's going to be a lot of fidgeting. I want to make sure I have a build, play tomorrow. And then if I want to mess with map age stuff, that'll just be a project for another day. That. Oh, I've like resized this off the bottom of my screen here. Notes. Well, locations. We want to say Map age. I think there's 2 trials yet. That should be back to normal. The normal version of this actually works fine, and it's just something about the blue. That just really makes those things hard to see. So what if well, that's the fade rate. Now we tried dropping this down. It seemed to have an effect. Right, so we're looking at that stuff. That actually had to be 0 for this to look nice. Maybe it's just those sprites just don't look good at. Or maybe it's depending on a mostly white thing to its additive texture coloring thing. And adding some other color in there is not letting it do that. Now I'm wondering if these other types of markers can have this. Oh, your arrow. That's not going to help. Of course, that was done in a different draw mode. Like, this is location slit. I don't think I have large blocks of conditional code like that. They're mostly drawn the same. On the other hand, the arrow we're pointing at looks darker because it's being drawn twice. Yeah, I think I'm going to investigate that later. Those graphics are made for a different draw mode. Solid arrows start at 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. That's like draw it in black. Yeah, I'm not sure that we're actually drawing the for non-home markers. Anyway, we've got to compile. Copy that for Sunday. Didn't need that. All right, I want to get lunch and then be getting ready for ablegamers. So thanks for watching. Thanks to everybody who hosted me. I don't think he's on quite yet, but I'll be hosting Marshall for the event shortly. And then, I'm going to be doing that, not doing One Life this afternoon. Hoping to be on Sunday to try out the new markers. The one I would normally be on, and actually this is also maybe a little bit weird because of daylight savings time. Uh, but yeah, so normally I tend to wrap up a little bit later. But bye-bye.